All right, this is the Dr. William Clark podcast. Glad to have you guys in the house again. We're super excited to be a part of your journey as you're figuring out how to lead your nonprofits and how to grow your organization. Now, we're in this season where we're learning how to fundraise and we're learning how to generate revenue that can be significant for your organization and that can be transformational for what you're trying to accomplish. Many of you may be saying to yourself, or saying to me rather, Dr. Clark, I can't. I can't do this. I don't know what this is. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to make this work. I need you to explain this to me. And I'm here to help you. I'm here to talk about it with you. I'm glad that we are on this journey together. So without further ado, let's talk about some fundraising techniques that I do want to help you with on your journey. Now, one of the ways you can raise money as a nonprofit organization is to raise money through sponsorships. Now, sponsorships is a way where you secure the support of organizations, businesses, individuals who are interested in your success, and they will trade dollars for availability, access, and exposure. Yeah, availability, access, and exposure. So, what are we talking about? What do we mean by that when we talk about availability, access, and exposure? Now, this is the part where I think nonprofits kind of get stuck, particularly newbies when they're trying to figure out how sponsorships work and how to position their organizations accordingly to capture the hearts and minds and interests of sponsors. You got to think about this. You as a nonprofit organization, you are a business. And I think many of you who are watching this particular broadcast, who's been listening to this particular podcast for a while, the Dr. William P. Clark podcast, you know, and you've heard me talk about, I'm sure you heard it elsewhere too, that nonprofits are businesses. They are operational businesses. They are businesses that have a functional role and purpose in our economy. Nonprofits, they staff people, they hire people, they pay mortgages, they pay car notes, they pay summer vacations, they pay summer camps, private school notes, etc., etc., college tuitions. It changes lives. It is part of the economy. We have tons of trainings on this where we talk about, how nonprofits impact our economy. So this is not nothing new. This is important for you to understand. But the perspective I want to share with you today about this is that nonprofits as a business, not only does it serve the staff and the customers that it provides a service to on a day-to-day basis, the nonprofit itself also provides exposure and access to a body of buyers who other businesses are interested in getting in front of because they can't right now. Businesses have a marketing budget and they market to a particular portfolio of people because they believe that these people may have the capacity to buy their product and or buy their service. And what many nonprofits don't realize is that they have the access, they have the ability to grant access to these businesses to their customers who these businesses want to pay to get in front of. So when we talk about access, exposure, opportunity for these businesses, what we're saying is that you have the ability to grant access to your customers to sponsors in exchange for a fee. This is what sponsorships are all about. So when you go to your neighborhood gala or when you go to your neighborhood event sponsored by or put on by nonprofit X and you have all these sponsors, what do you think they're paying for? Obviously, the sponsors help defray costs, lower expenses for the event, etc., which is super important. But why do you think they give their money? Why do you think they invest their dollars into these events? It can't be just because it feels good. It can't be just because I want to be seen as a corporate citizen. I think that's part of the journey for some. That's part of the story for some. But that's not really what they're after. In part, the whole story is I want to be viewed as a corporate citizen. I want to be viewed as someone who cares about our community and our customers or those that are in need, and partnering with a nonprofit X helps expand our footprint in that way. However, something to think about is that we also benefit as a corporation, as a for-profit entity, by expanding our access point to a potential new customer base or expanding our footprint with an existing customer base by sponsoring an event where we know our customer demographic and profile will be present. This is a big deal. This is a big opportunity. When's the last big gala you've been to? Think about it. Hundreds of people crammed into a ballroom dressed in their finest. Thousands of people at an event to celebrate this nonprofit and the work that they do. Those are priceless customers because for every individual, for every pair of eyeballs, for every pair of feet, for every butt in a seat, it represents a dollar amount. And for-profit businesses who are looking to tap into that customer base, who are looking to figure out how can they serve that customer, they're looking for ways to get in front of that customer. And they're saying, you know what? If we can just sponsor an event here, if we can be a part of this journey here, if we can participate in this particular event here, we think we have a good shot of expanding our footprint with this particular customer base. We think we have a good shot at expanding our ability to serve our customers and to do a good job and to beat out our competitors. We believe we have a good shot at this. So when you think about how your nonprofit can fundraise, sponsorships is a part of that. So when you think about your next event, your run walk event, your next gala, your next celebration, your next luncheon, your next graduation, whatever you're doing for your organization, and you start to put together your sponsorship package, you need to be thoughtful about, well, what is it that we need to let our sponsors know that will make our event attractive? Why should they invest in our event? Why should they be a part of what we got going on? Why should they spend their marketing dollars? Why should they spend their marketing budget on us? So what's your story? How many people do you, on average, draw to your events over the past 2 to 3 years? How many pairs of feet? How many butts in seats? How many eyeballs? How many individuals do you draw to your event over the past 2 to 3 years? What type of social media presence have you drawn over the past couple of years? How many impressions have you generated? How many likes? How many comments? How many shares have you generated as a result of your event over the past couple of years? This is a significant story to tell. These numbers are significant stories to tell because when you start to talk to sponsors about ways that they can engage and ways they can participate in your event, you want to talk about why. And the why is the exposure. The why is the opportunity. The why is access to a particular customer base. The why is you will be able to potentially expand your business, expand opportunity, expand your footprint, expand the way you're able to operate. Perhaps you're thinking about opening a new office. And you might be able to have that conversation with your team and your staff because you might explore, our customer base is here. And we'll have the opportunity to get some FaceTime with our customers. We have the opportunity to put our product in front of them, give them early previews. We get a chance to get direct feedback that we've been trying to get, but we haven't been able to get. But all of a sudden, because of this gala, where all these people are crammed into this space, and our potential customers are there, we have a captive audience that we could not get a hold of, y'all. Let's put our sponsorship dollars to work so that we can learn something about our customer and learn something about our product and change the messaging and change the positioning and change the access point and change the price point. So it's great to talk about and it's great to focus on, the feel-good story that's associated with your gala, your event, etc., because that is important. It's important to your mission. It's important to your board. It's important to your staff. It's important to you as the executive director. That's great. But from the business standpoint, from a development standpoint, for the development staff, for the coordination staff, for the planning staff, it's a business. It's facts and figures. It's numbers. It's dollars and cents. So we want to be able to exchange access to our customers for dollars. And how much is that worth? How much do you want or need to raise per sponsorship package, per event, to help grant access to what you're trying to offer to the marketplace? This, my friends, this is huge. Some of you are getting ready to enter into your gala season, event season, etc., and you want to be prepared. You want to be armed with all the resources you need to make some wise decisions during your planning sessions with your team. Part of the thought process is, well, how can we continue to tell our story, the true story of our touch points and our access and our footprint to potential partners who would love to become sponsors? And as we have our story organized and ready to go, let's add some other fundraising elements and basics to this part of the story. Let's share the story with our board. Let's challenge our board to come out there and to share with their friends, our story. Have our board join the effort and forwarding to the business owners that they're friends with our story, so that they can be inspired to become sponsors of this event. Let's look at our past sponsors, current and those who are no longer active. How can we re-engage with them to become sponsors? Let's look at the business community around us, those who are established and those who are emerging. How can we tell them our story? What about businesses who are not necessarily serving our community, but just have a heart for our city, heart for the demographic that we serve? Let's tell them our story. Our sponsors who are currently on board, how about we not only re-sign them up, but ask them, can you recommend other businesses, other sponsors who are like-minded, who share your values? So these are the conversations you want to have. Asking for your referrals, asking your current list of sponsors and those who are supporters of you, those who feel strongly about the work that you're doing, asking them to make referrals as well, so that you all can have the right people in the tent, and have the right people who care about your customers, who care about your vision, who care about what you're trying to accomplish, and you can push the needle. If you plan this way, it's going to change, I think, the trajectory of the thought process of sponsorships. It's not simply selling cheap packages to people who feel sorry for your organization. If that's the approach, I think you're sadly mistaken. I think you're missing a huge opportunity, because the sympathy investment will always be there. There will always be businesses, individuals, churches that will make an investment based upon sympathy. But moving past that is where we're trying to be. Getting beyond this sympathy investment is what we're trying to accomplish. Your ability to tell the story and to communicate to these individuals a why that's even more compelling than what they've heard before, I think is pivotal. Pivotal to your growth, pivotal to whatever's next for your organization, pivotal to impact, pivotal to sustainability, etc. There's a lot riding on your ability to tell the story. In fact, everything you heard in this particular broadcast is tied to the second fastest way to raise money, and that is performance. Your ability to tell the story about your performance is the end-all, be-all of your fundraising opportunities, because performance is a low-key way to raise money really, really, really fast for your organization. And I think that some of us lose that opportunity, and we don't realize how much we're losing as a consequence of us not being focused on telling our story to the right organizations and partners who want to invest with us. Now, if you want to talk about this further, certainly you can go to our website, drwilliampclark.com. Again, it's drwilliampclark.com. Go to the website, download our resources. We have some free resources on our website, but one of the resources that I really want you to tap into is our nonprofit toolkit. That is not a free resource, that's a paid resource. Check it out, because in that particular toolkit, we talk about the quick, ready tools to help you think through things like this, to plan through things like this. We give you the tools, ideas that can help you navigate through the challenges you're feeling around fundraising, and to put you in a frame of mind to think strategically about your fundraising and to think intentionally about your fundraising. I want to see you make intentional investments and decisions into your fundraising efforts, because your customers, they are looking to have your organization around for a very long time. In order for you to do that, you got to be able to raise money effectively to pay the bills. And we do that in part through sponsorships. So go to drwilliampclark.com, check out our resources there. Schedule a free consultation if you want to talk with me and or download any of our available resources. We'll be glad to be a part of your journey. We'll be glad to talk with you about your journey. This is Dr. William P. Clark.